War. It has always been a part of life in the British Isles. From Roman times unto present day, no king or emperor has called this realm his own. 5 kings now stand ready to do battle over these lands. They will make Britannia theirs, or die in the attempt.
Hello guys and girls, Voices from the Dark here and welcome to Medieval 2 Total War, considered by many to be among the best Total War games out there. I've been feeling like playing some strategy lately, and this is a game that means quite a lot to me because I have some nostalgic ties to it, considering I played it quite a lot in my childhood, and I wanted to jump back in and play it, and hopefully you'll want to join me on the journey. This takes place on the British Isles where 5 kings will fight to win. So let's have a look at the factions that we can choose from here, although you probably know what we're gonna choose already. We have England, of course, very, very strong faction, but they have a lot of issues with rebellion and just having to fight so many enemies on so many fronts. We have Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and Norway. I was born and raised in Norway, so of course, that's who we are going to be playing for this campaign. Now, I've been thinking a little bit about how I wanted to do this campaign, and I wanted to make it interesting to watch. So, first of all, no advice. We're going to have a long campaign. To win this campaign, we're going to need to control 35 regions, including all of these very important towns. Most of these towns are also capitals, so if we want to get these towns, we're going to have to wage war here. Before we jump into, actually, let's talk a little bit about the difficulty. So I've been considering what to play. Now, I am a Total War, I wouldn't say novice, but I am a very casual strategy player, so you won't see any advanced, like, whoa, how do you do that tactics? I am very casual, so this is going to also be very difficult for me because we're going to be playing on very hard. The campaign difficulty is going to be very hard, the battle difficulty is going to be very hard, meaning the enemy is going to deal a lot of damage, my troops are going to root more easily, the enemy is going to make more money than me, my reputation will never be good because everybody will automatically despise me. But yet, that's what I want to do. That seems interesting and fun to me, to live in the harsh world and having to survive as these Norwegian Vikings, even though it's a little bit past the Viking age, but you can still see remnants of our brutal past. So we're going to have no battle time limit on. Essentially, time limit is, let's say you are attacking an enemy. You have a certain time that you have to win the battle, or else you automatically lose. And it's the same for the other side. If you're defending, you can try to make the timer run out and have the enemy lose. I'm just gonna leave it as an infinite timer just so I can have more fun in battles and take longer setting up troops and have fun with it. So, let's read up on what's going on with Norway in the year 1258 AD. Norway has used its considerable naval power to control the Isle of Man and Orkney Islands for many decades now, and has only recently shown interest in establishing a greater presence on the Scottish mainland. While King Haakon remains in Norway, dealing with issues at home, he has placed his son, Magnus Haakonsson, in charge of the war effort in Britannia. As the Norwegian people look to establish a foothold on the British mainland, they may choose to adopt their traditional naval raiding approach of surprising and sacking poorly defended settlements before returning to the ocean as quickly as they appeared. Yeah, Britain got to feel that in the past when the Vikings came. Scotland is Norway's first obvious target for expansion, however it may be in their best interest to assault the east coast of England or Northern Ireland, as the factions in these regions will surely be distracted with their own war efforts. So as you can see, we are spread out here in this area, and all of these white areas are rebel settlements, rebel areas that we can take without causing a lot of conflict to the other factions, so it's most likely at the start going to be a little race to get as many rebel settlements as possible. Now, Scotland is probably going to be one of our greater enemies, because eventually, what year is it? Towards, I believe it's in the year 1270 AD or something, when William Wallace is born. So, William Wallace is going to be coming for Norway to take us out, unless we can actually take out Scotland before that time comes. It's probably going to be in maybe 50 years or so, we'll see how that goes. We have excellent shock infantry who wield powerful two-handed weapons, but we lack good heavy cavalry. We won't need that. So without further ado, let's jump into it and figure out how we are going to be doing our grand campaign. Now, there's going to be a little intro. If you want to watch it, then that's good. If you want to skip it, click the button. Let's go!
Britannia, a land of emerald isles, a land of kings, a land of war. England. King Henry sits upon a hungry throne, thirsty for more land. The Norwegians, warriors happy to pay the blood price for their ambitions. Scotland. From the Highlands and across the lowlands comes a spirited people ready for battle. Wales, a people of song and sword, and leaders that will bend their knees to no man. And Ireland, suspicious of his neighbors, the Irish warrior never sleeps, though he dreams of conquest. Britannia, one realm, 5 kings, total war.
Well then, guys and girls, welcome to Medieval 2 Total War. Let's have a little look at how the situation is going. This is without any mods. I decided to just play the vanilla game, and even though the AI can be quite stupid in this one, and there are definitely areas that could have been improved, I feel like it's more close to the experience I had when I was younger. So our capital right now is Castletown. So let's have a look at it. Here we have Prince Magnus, who is our faction heir right now. The King of Norway, King Håkon, is currently in Norway. He will arrive later on in the campaign to bring some backup, but we'll have to manage without him for now. So in a city or a castle, there's a little bit of a difference. You can build different things that will improve different aspects of your empire, of course. Like you can make a practice range to get some archers, ballista maker to make a ballista so you can besiege walls, leather tanner to upgrade the armor of your troops, and then you have other things like land clearance and dirt roads where you improve the trade and the income of the settlement. And dirt roads and land clearance is such a basic essential to a settlement, so we'll start with building that. I'm not planning on waging war immediately, although that's not really up to me on such a difficult campaign because, well, our enemies are probably going to jump at the opportunity to attack us. We also have a chapel. Now, usually in the main campaign, it all takes place in Europe, so there are a lot of different religions. You have Christianity, which again is split into, different groups of Christianity, and then you also have Islam, and then you have there are a lot of religions at play, so it's important with churches. So what they've done with this one is that the church gives them a more Norwegian culture if you make a Norwegian church, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but I guess they just preach about goat cheese and long walks in the forest. I guess that's what they preach here. So we have a little bit of Scottish and Irish in us, but we'll weed those out. Okay, so we'll leave that be. Let's have a little look at our... where is it? Boom, the faction overview right now. So as you can see, we have quite a lot of settlements that needs to be taken. We have Dublin and all of these great huge capitals. We are not fit to besiege anything just yet. So King Håkon, he is currently 54 years old. He got married to Margaret. They had Prince Magnus, who is now married to Ingrid, who's currently 20. He's my age. Wow, okay, I'm gonna put myself in the shoes of King Magnus. So each turn is like half a year, I believe. So let's see what we can do on the map right here. So we can see our settlements spread out right here. So we can zoom in a little. Now, right here is a rebel town. We have some Scottish rebel on this isle. What do we have? So I decided to set the... You can essentially decide how big one troop is going to be. You can choose like, I think, small, normal, large, and huge. I went for large. So battles are going to be with a lot more soldiers than usual. So right now we have Highlanders, Highland archers, peasant archers, and some Highland rabble keeping this place. They are not the greatest troops, so I feel like this is a very natural spot for expansion if we send a fleet over there to take this little island. We also have a little village here, the Norwegian village of Aran. Now, the people aren't necessarily too happy here, as you can see. They are merely content. I don't know if you can you show me? No. But essentially, if public order is under 100%, they're feeling less than happy. And you can see the reason why the people are not happy. There are insurgents, there's the distance to capital, but they're feeling good about the garrison they have in their town, which currently consists of a couple of Viking raiders, which are pretty okay troops. They're nothing, you know, amazing. The medieval era sees the Vikings make way for feudal warriors, but there are still those who follow the old ways. These wild and hardy warriors live for battle, whether it be with an army or a smaller raiding force. Armed with an axe and light armor, these hard men from the north are an intimidating prospect on a battlefield. And peasant archers. The greatest force of them all! So they are keeping the fort down here. We can make some land clearance. I believe we should do that. So, I believe Norway's economy in the beginning is kinda rough. We don't have a lot of money. Our king's purse gives us 2,000 per turn, which is not a lot. That's quite small. So, whenever we raise a big army, we're going to have more of an army upkeep, and we need to make sure that we have the finances to back such an endeavor. We also have a spy here, Gunnar. Now, spies are quite cool because you can see that a lot of this area right here is just covered in darkness. I don't know what's here. There are plenty of cities and troops in this area, but I can't see them because they're covered by the fog of war. That's where a spy comes in. He can travel across the land, searching far and wide. He can't find any Pokemon, but he can find settlements and infiltrate cities and the like. Now, we have the Scottish here.
Does this look like one of your fleets, you galoot?
Don't call me a galoot. I know more than you, silly little man. Now, up here we have another ship. Admiral Jens. So, Norway usually has a pretty big presence on the waters, and boats are definitely going to help us get around in the beginning as we attempt to take this island. Over here is a little Norwegian castle on the first stage. Now, we can actually upgrade it, which you usually want to do as soon as you can. So, let's improve on this, because if we have attackers attack us, we're going to need some solid defenses, because right now they can pretty much just walk in. It's just a tiny little wooden barricade. Eventually you can upgrade your castles to be citadels and fortresses with like many walls and gates you can fall back in. Up here we have Stornoway. It's a little town where we have Halldor of Vikus. He is 21, so he's just beginning his journey in this world, but he's already looking to be a very promising commander. So you have different traits for different characters. You have command, chivalry, loyalty, and management. Command helps on the battlefield, and 4 stars means that this man is hardly a tactical genius, but he is showing some aptitude for leadership. And chivalry is a very interesting stat, because if you lose all your chivalry points by doing dastardly deeds, by like executing prisoners and doing just things that are more evil than good, I suppose, your chivalry stat will go down and it will turn into a dread stat. And eventually you'll just become a champion of darkness, and everybody will refer to you as the merciless, the tyrant, the killer. So either you become a very chivalrous man who do well on the battlefield, you release prisoners and you treat towns that you take in a very respectable manner, and you're respected for it, or you can just be feared. So guess which path we're gonna be going down. Loyalty is very important. The more loyal a man is, the less likely he is to abandon you and go rogue and steal your army and such. And management just helps keeping the city under control. What do I want to build up here in Stornoway? Let's build some dirt roads and some land clearance. It's a pretty good way to start. We're pretty Norwegian here, so we won't need to build a church. The city is also fairly happy. Now, we could recruit some more town militia, but I don't think we'll be needing it. We'll keep Halldor here for now because I don't have any boats to bring into the mainland, but I'll probably want to vacate a lot of soldiers from these islands and bring them to where the conflict's going to be on the mainland. Now, the enemy can definitely be coming up to our islands, sailing and deporting, you know, just sending a troop down on the beach and take us, but it usually doesn't happen. The enemy usually doesn't attack your islands too much. Now, I could be wrong. Ooh.
Yes.
Leofric, a Norwegian spy. He may be willing to do the dubious, but he likes the guile and cunning to do it well. Well, you're a young man, Leo. We're gonna practice. So we can move him down the land, and he's going to scout out new locations for us. So right here is a Scottish castle where Alexander Stewart resides, and a considerable force this early on in the game. He has some mailed knights, which are definitely a bit scary. Now you can try to infiltrate a settlement, which gives you a certain % chance of success. If you fail, your spy is killed, and this happens through some rather humorous cutscenes. But I don't want to waste my spy on a coin toss right now. I'd prefer to just move him down a little bit and see what's down here. Okay, over here we have a little rebel fort with not that many troops in it, so that could potentially be something we take over in the future. For now, I'll keep my spy here to have a look at the Scottish. The Scottish have a tendency to march on Norway first. I've played this campaign before back in the day, so I remember some things like the fact that we will get backup from the Norwegian king, and Scotland will have William Wallace appear. So there's going to be Clash of the Titans going down pretty soon. Alright, we have some merchants. Now, I don't really do a lot with merchants. They're rather... like this guy, Reinwald. He barely grasped the basics of the barter system. Why have I employed you then? Essentially, you can trade with different resources, like you can touch sheep, you earn 25 florins per turn, or you can go around and trade textiles. Now, I'm gonna just, spoiler alert, Reinwald, this is gonna be your task during the entirety of this series. You're gonna be stuck here trading textiles until the end of time. I mean, at least it's a peaceful existence, though. I mean, look at this little island. It's going to probably be spared for war. I think there's a rebel settlement here, but rebels, they don't really come to attack you that often. Especially not the rebels that are in small castles like that out on the water. So we also have Harold and Christopher. They're also here to trade. Now, we could be trading fish, which would be very, very Norwegian, but I feel like we should just trade textiles for now. What else do we want to trade with you? We can touch some sheep. Perfect. Now, they can be run out of business of... if other merchants come, they can seize their assets and run them out of business, so we'd want to deal with those merchants, potentially with an assassin. So, if we have an inn... Exactly. If we make an inn, we can recruit an assassin. If you make a brothel, you can get a spy, but then you can upgrade the brothel to an inn and get yourself an assassin. And I think I will. An inn is a respectable establishment that offers accommodation to travelers from abroad, while offering a regular drinking hole for the locals. Because of the high number of people that frequent an inn, they make an excellent place to have a private discussion, or even to make contact with figures from the underworld that favors the place for the same desire for anonymity themselves. Okay, then let's build an inn up here in Kirkwall. We can also adjust the taxes in towns, but if you raise the tax a lot, then people are going to be... Right now, they're disillusioned. How could he do this? So, Lars is going to keep the taxes pretty okay. How's the forces here? It's pretty decent. Now, what kind of man are you, Lars? You are driven. That gives you more management. That's good. That makes you good in a city. The peasantry and nobility admire this man's wisdom equally, so some generals you want to keep in the town and some you want on the battlefields. He is a bureaucrat. While still a novice in dealing with the intricacies of bureaucracy, this man has displayed a talent for administration, and he gives bonus on trade income and some plus to law. So you probably want to keep this man in Kirkwall. Now we can build catapults and siege equipment, which is usually quite nice to have if you're taking castles. But I think that King Magnus's force already has it down here in Castletown. So here's our main force right now. So we're going to send that out. I don't know if we'll get any combat in this first episode, but we'll set up for war at the very least. Prince Magnus, our faction heir, he is quite the commander. He's pretty much on par with Haldor. So Haldor and Magnus are going to be the big ones early on. In Castletown, we can recruit some pretty strong troops like the dismounted Huskarls. We're going to be seeing a lot of these. Literally meaning houseman, Huskarls are the loyal household troops of Scandinavian nobles. Protected by mail armor and wielding axes, they resemble the Vikings of old, especially when they fight on foot. Brave and fierce with their axes, mail, and shields, they make excellent infantry. We also have the Sami Axemen, which I find very humorous, considering the Sami is the aboriginal group of Norway. And just seeing them wield axes like this makes me smile. The Sami are a nomadic group of people whose survival has long depended on their ferocious strength in combat. Norwegian generals are well aware of the Sami skill with the axe and have made certain that the most talented Sami axemen are provided with Norwegian chainmail and recruited to the ranks of their armies. So we'll have them charge in with 17 attack. That's pretty good. If you face a Sami on the battlefield, you're gonna suffer. Crossbow militia, peasant archers, and some Huskarls that are mounted. And of course, catapults. So we can bring down some walls. I don't think I'll be recruiting troops as of yet, because right now we're going to be spending a lot of money building around the place, so I can't really afford building a new army.
Yes.
So, let's go on to the ship of Admiral Emond. I feel like this guy needs a D right between these. That wasn't meant to be dirty, but it kind of came out that way.
Sire.
Admiral Emond is going to take Gunnar, our spy, together with Magnus. Now, who should we leave behind? Can I leave behind just peasant archers? You generally shouldn't leave your castles undefended, but this is on the water, so I feel generally safe. If I move out the prince, excuse me, he's not king yet, but he will be one day. Castletown still feels okay with me. They're actually very, very okay. That's good. That is currently our capital, so they get some extra bonus for that. So, boop. Here's a dragon boat right here. Oh, we're gonna sail across the seas and no rebel fleets are gonna dare battle me. Dragon boats are the command ships of 12th century Viking fleets, equipped with a keel and a double set of rowers, which doubles the fighting power in melee, as all rowers on board are also warriors. These boats carry ballista for firing grappling hooks to pull enemy ships into contact, enabling boarding action. Unfortunately, there is no such thing as naval combat in this game. That would come in the later installments of Total War, but for now it's just automatically resolving the battle based on statistics. It's not awfully exciting, which is why I tend to not care that much about naval warfare and building a huge fleet, because it's not that interesting. We're going to sail up here. As you can see, it's going to take us 2 turns. The red means the next turn, then the blue. Then we will arrive on the island. Now, we should be able to take these guys out with what we have in the boat. It's a fairly considerable army. I feel okay with that. Actually, before that, we should probably deploy Gunnar. Yes. Next turn, we're going to deploy Gunnar so he can start spying the area and we can figure out what Scotland is up to. Is there anything we want to do before we end the turn, then? Let's see. Leo is spying. We're building in Stornoway. Wick. What's going on here? We have Knut Håkonsson. Hello, hello. Now, there's a little bit of a derp up in how they've done the names. Because essentially, like our prince, Magnus, he's named Magnus Håkonsson, meaning the son of Håkon. And Håkon is his father. That makes sense. But Håkon is named Håkon Håkonsson, meaning the son of Håkon. And when Magnus has a child, that child will still be called Håkonsson, even though it should be Magnusson. So, it's just gonna be... they're limited. So, they couldn't really adapt to the Scandinavian style of naming the family, so... You're gonna see a lot of that, but that's okay. Let's build some dirt roads, let's get some land clearance going. For now, we'll be focusing on the economy, as I don't think we need the military just yet. Now, if Scotland decides to attack me, we're going to have to try to amass some troops here. We don't have a lot, but we'll do our best. We have a little boat in the area that can hopefully help us out, but I think that's going to conclude the first round. So diplomacy-wise, we're only at war with the rebels, but everybody is. The rebels just signify men that don't really have an allegiance and just want to fight for their own cause. England is at war with Wales and Ireland, but other than that, it's pretty much open right now. We need to make some alliances. We need to strike some deals with people, get some trade rights, and for that we're going to need a diplomat. Can any of our towns produce a diplomat? That is the question. I don't know. No, currently we cannot get a diplomat. Oh, wait, So do I get a diplomat or an assassin first? An assassin is a lot more fun. But I feel like it'll be good to have a diplomat. Just to like stop wars instead of cause wars for now. Because this is on very hard difficulty. The enemy will show me no mercy. So let's hit the end turn button and see what happens. So I've hit the option to show the CPU moves. Meaning I will get to see the enemy move around like this. I can click to skip a little. But Scotland is sending an army my way. Oh, I can get a candidate. There's a candidate for adoption that can adopt into the family. John Christensen. Well, sure thing. Welcome to the family. Oh, reinforcements arrive. our noble King Håkon has dispatched a Viking raiding party to aid in the Norwegian conquest of Britannia. This raiding party is currently in the North Min Straits, west of Wick, awaiting the command to strike the Hebrides. In addition to these generous reinforcements, King Håkon has also seen fit to increase our king's purse. Has he now? Yeah, he's boosted our king's purse. More money for us. Okay, so what do we got? Admiral Henrik comes with a fleet and a little army for us. That's good. What about Admiral Birger? He comes with more troops and Gelir Voss. Hello. This man consciously works terror and blackmail into his strategies. And it is doubtful if this man has any loyalties at all, even onto himself. I'm always scared when I'm dealing with men who aren't loyal, because they might take my troops and they might run for it. And that's something I would really like to avoid. Well, what? Adoption not completed? It would appear that this was not meant to be. Message of your offer of adoption has arrived to a funeral procession. This man has suddenly and sadly passed away. Okay. Sorry, John. What? Alright, we got some dirt roads going. That's good. The end of turn report. We're currently number 5 and 4 in most areas, military, financial, production, and population-wise, so we're the smallest and weakest faction at the moment. But let's change that, shall we? As you can see, we lost a lot of money. That's because we're building. We'll make that back. And we have some different traits that increased to Gelir as he arrived. Now, Scotland.
No time to haver. I'm on duty.
You have quite the force coming my way. Can you explain yourself? I think Scotland's marching on me already. They didn't even wait 2 turns before they did it. So, I think what we gotta do is that we have to... Yes, okay. Let's disembark the army here, send them ashore, and then we're going to combine this navy, and then... Boom. Good. Here is Gelir Voss and his army. This is the backup that we got from King Håkon. So I'm going to station him in this little Norwegian fort over here so we can hold the roads. So I think with this army we would be able to face whatever he has. Now I'm not going to start war preemptively myself. I'm going to see what Scotland does, because if you start a war, your reputation goes down considerably. Then again, it's not very hard, so our reputation is going to be hard to maintain either way. We're going to move the Admiral up here and of course send our spy on to Scotland. And then we will go up to take the rebel settlement. Now, our spy will probably... Oh, yes. Look at this. Our map's starting to turn blue. Means there's a lot of Scottish activity in the area here. They're going to own a lot of this. Over here's the Scottish capital. We'll want to take this if we want to destroy Scotland, so... Let's see. Maybe he's just going the wrong way. Maybe he doesn't mean to attack me. But most likely... Oh, they left Inverness pretty open. But I'm going to have to end the episode here. We're going to try to keep these episodes between 20 and 30 minutes. Because I feel like that's an okay time for them. Because I don't want to go on for too long. So, I hope you enjoyed this first episode in our Medieval 2 Total War campaign as Norway. So tune in next time when the adventure continues and we decide where to go from here. Have a still good day, take care and stay awesome. But most importantly, everybody, stay dark. Goodbye.